A wise teacher once said to his students to carpe diem, or seize the day. Of course, that teacher was fictional and from one of my most favourite films, Dead Poets Society, but I believe this principle still rings true for all future teachers. This teacher, played by the inimitable and tragically departed Robin Williams, unfortunately a year ago this week, I think, also encouraged his students to see, hear, and above all, feel life, not just follow the crowd and read about it in textbooks. Whilst I'm not advocating the tearing up of books in the same manner as Mr. Keating, I do also believe that pre-service teachers can only learn so much from a textbook or a lecture. Instead, I believe we need to take advantage of every opportunity presented to us to go and experience the real world of teaching for ourselves, and to take every opportunity to put a face to the stats and figures we simply read and hear about at university. Put simply, I believe we need to seize the day. As mentioned previously, teachers like Mr. Keating from Dead Poets Society are fictional and set incredibly high and arguably unrealistic standards for teachers. That is not to say that, like real teachers, we can't learn from them. Teacher films like this pose very important questions that I'm sure we've all grappled with and probably will continue to grapple with throughout our entire career. Questions like, what type of teacher do you want to be? Where do you want to teach? What other than content do you want to teach your students? We could go crazy thinking about our answers to these questions, and I'm sure many people have, but I believe there is only one real way to solve these dilemmas, and that is to throw away your inhibitions and get out of your comfort zone, to seize whatever opportunities will come your way. Speaking firsthand, I know that slowly but surely, by doing so you will learn not only about the real world of teaching, but more importantly you will learn about yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your passions, and the things that will completely drive you up the wall. All those things that make up the teacher you will eventually become. By tracing and elaborating on significant moments in my journey towards becoming a teacher, I hope to demonstrate how important it is for pre-service teachers to be aware of opportunities that come up within and outside of university, and to above all take part in things happening around you. By showing how I believe these opportunities and my responses to them have shaped me, not only as a person, but as a future teacher, I also hope to show you the many benefits of getting out of your comfort zone and experiencing the real world of teaching. My journey, I believe, began when I transferred from the University of Sydney to here, the University of New South Wales, after completing my first year of study there. I could go on for hours about the reasons why I left, but suffice to say, USyd and I were not a perfect match. Upon entering UNSW in my second year of my combined Bachelor of Education and Arts degree, I began a course called Social Perspectives, in which I was exposed to the undeniably complex web of social disadvantage that we, as teachers, are at the centre of. After doing quite a bit of research into these issues, it was, quite honestly, very difficult to see past the problems and glean any kind of hope from the research that these situations can be improved in the future. That was, however, until we were offered the chance to volunteer as mentors for the Nirrigili Pre-Education Program. The UNSW-run program is designed to provide a gateway into university for Indigenous students from rural and other socially disadvantaged backgrounds who wish to study and become teachers. Hearing their stories and the obstacles they have come across to get here not only warmed my heart, but showed me that there is hope for students out there and that teachers do hold that key. You only need to look at the incredible transformation Jay Carroll, one of the members of this program, has undergone in less than a year for proof of this. Having travelled from the incredibly isolated and disadvantaged rural town of Bourke, he is now acing all his subjects at university, a mentor and leader for himself and for Indigenous education students, and I am incredibly proud to say is here to speak tonight. If I hadn't signed up as a mentor for this program, I truly believe that not only would I have not met Jay, who is now a close friend, but that my perceptions of social disadvantage and the impact teachers can actually have would have remained unaltered, as black and white as the pages of the textbook. Considering my role as mentor for the pre-education program only lasted for 2 weeks, it clearly left an indelible mark because literally only a month after I finished, I found myself in a plane travelling over 4,000 kilometres to a small and very isolated Indigenous community in the Northern Territory. This opportunity, far from anything I would have ever considered, and as far out of my comfort zone as I could get, was offered to me shortly after completing the program. For 3 weeks, I would be running sport and rec activities for Indigenous kids who simply had nothing else to do. Upon landing 2 days into the new year, I knew I was going into a remote community that was under-resourced, but visually it was a shock to the system. Houses in very poor condition lined the dirty roads, populated by barely clothed children with only a Chevy pram to keep them entertained by racing it up and down the streets. Tall fences and barbed wire surrounded our accommodation, commonly known as the compound, adding the final touches to a town that appeared more like a detention centre than a home. If this was not enough, a large majority of the population didn't speak or read a word of English, and only 40% of children attended school, if that. Obviously an extreme case by anyone's standards, this community offered me the chance to not only experience the world's oldest culture, but also see and live the life of the underprivileged, and realise how these issues were playing out every day under our noses and in our own backyards. With this knowledge of a world seemingly hidden from the minds of most Australians, I returned home more inspired than ever to make a difference when I become a teacher, to travel to those areas of rural Australia often neglected by uni students, and give the gift of education that we take for granted each and every day. And so now I come full circle to standing here in front of you, future and present teachers, again seizing another opportunity that Beryl Lee offered to me, to speak to you about my journey, and by doing so, highlight the importance of getting out there, volunteering and participating in the real world. Textbooks can only inform you so much, lectures can only make you think so much, but real, genuine experience can and will make you see the world and you as a teacher in a whole new light. It will make you ask questions you may have never thought to ask yourself, and answer questions you may have never thought possible to answer. So go out there and seize the day. I truly believe you'll be a better teacher for it.